Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ride. Yeah.
Welcome to Coffee's Conversations and Keeping It Real.
I'm Trina George.
I'm her co-host, Philip Marcel. And today we have the owner of Peak Strength and Fitness, Keith Caradine. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
Man,
Trina, good to be here.
Yes, been wanting to have you on, so
Well, I
we
appreciate
finally
it.
got you here, man.
I hope I keep people awake.
Oh, you
Yeah.
will. It's going to be good because, I mean, fitness is a hot topic. And, you know, people want to be in
Right.
shape. People want to start fitness businesses. People want to open up gyms.
Oh, yes.
People try, people fail.
Yeah,
people give it a go. People are thinking about it. People always want to be thinking about it.
for
I think
sure.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just the wave, man.
It
ain't
is.
going nowhere.
There's a lot of gyms even here in Gainesville. So
Yeah,
it's,
exactly.
It's a
Like-
tough competitive business.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna get into it. The name of your business is Peak Strength and Fitness. We're gonna get into a little bit of your background and how you
Okay.
transition from, working your corporate job, which I know about, but I wanna, let the people know, and then to transition into having your own gym and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, actually my career's come 180
Mm.
because when I started working in athletics
Yeah.
years ago, back in 1980 when I had an afro, unlike
Yeah.
where I am right now,
Yeah.
I was I started out, I was going to be a high school basketball coach.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was hired at Cal State LA to be a part-time basketball coach.
Oh.
So I did all the preseason conditioning.
Oh.
And so, I'd be the guy in the preseason making guys run 6/400s.
Oh,
and
wow.
working with the strength coaches saying they're not lifting hard enough. And so, as a 21-year-old, now these seniors on the team would look at me like, this fool's crazy.
Yeah.
I said, but we're going. So my career has actually come 180.
Yeah.
And then I got into coaching.
Uh-huh.
And from coaching, I end up getting looped into administration and then
Right.
sat behind a chair for about
Yeah.
35 years after that.
That's incredible. 'Cause
And,
you were helping out the athletes then.
Yeah, I was working with athletes. I worked at the University of Florida in the athletic department there from 1992 to 2017
Yeah.
before I decided to make a change and actually come back to my roots, which was, training people. Although it's not in college sports, but,
Yeah.
I work with some people who are former high school, college athletes, and it's just fun to see people make progress.
Yeah.
And also, it's fun to make them sweat.
Yeah. Feel a little bit of pain. And all.
Oh yeah.
While you play, some Frankie Beverly and stuff in the background.
So Frankie Beverly, my friend who's a clinical psychologist says there's something wrong with you because you get too much pleasure out of other people's pain as played by Naughty by Nature.
Yeah.
So I said, well, hey, it's kind of like the theme song around here. Other people's pain.
Yeah, that's
So-
what's up. That's cool. Because I remember when you were talking about, retiring from administration, and then I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so explain to them what led that thought process there,
Well, the wheel started turning. I knew I was going to eventually either get back to it. First, I thought I would end up back in helping a friend coach at one of the local high schools, and then the wife said, "No, that's too many hours at night." And so I said, "Well, okay." But
Yeah.
then,
It's yeah, the wife.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh, yeah.
closer. There
and
we
so
go.
actually, I was sitting around the dojo because I've trained with Sifu Des Jackson
yeah.
for about 15 years.
Mhm.
And we're sitting around talking one day, and in the old dojo, they always had weights in there. So I'm walking
Yes.
around there, and I'm looking at the weights, and they got a few dumbbells there
Right.
and a couple things, and people
Mhm.
doing some things.
Yeah.
And so I just mentioned to Sifu. I go like, hey, what if we had a place that was a gym
Mhm.
and a dojo?
Mhm.
I said, and people could come and work on a particular martial art,
Mhm.
and they could come and get physical training. And at the time, one of my Kung Fu brothers was also a physical therapist. So then you start to see the wheels start turning about 10 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, actually about 10 years before I left the university in 2017.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so that seed, we started thinking about that then.
Yeah.
And then the timing kind of worked
That's around
out.
the time when I started coming around.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we were still on 6th Street. So-
We were still on 6th Street, and
Uh-huh.
we were in the 6th Street trailer, and we were just saying, hey, what if we did this? And so the what if turned into like, well, hey, let me really look at this.
Yeah.
And so then actually 2 to 3 years before I left the university summer 2017, I started looking for buildings and potential partners in case they couldn't get out of the lease.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's funny how the world turns. At the same time, Sensei Keith Teller, who was the leaseholder on the trailer on 6th Street, he was looking at a new building also. So we both were looking for buildings, and here's something that's crazy, that's real strange, is that we both saw the same building that we're currently in, unbeknownst to either one of us.
Oh, wow.
How about that, okay?
Yeah.
So,
which is on Main Street.
Which is on Main Street, you know.
Audi dealership.
You know, across from the Audi dealership, right next to Sound Depot.
Yeah.
And so, had no idea he had saw that building. Wow. He had no idea I looked at that building.
It was vacant at the time too.
It was vacant. It was an old futon shop.
Goodness gracious.
And so, and so that happened. We were actually looking at these buildings unbeknownst to each other. After we had this what if conversation, because he got involved in the what if conversation too. So the timing worked out. You know, I was done. I said, like, I'm tired of sitting behind the desk, time to move on, do something else.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in my late 50s or whatever at that time. So, you know, I was like, hey, I want to do something else. Still feel like I got a lot of energy, and I still think I can help people.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the premise of me wanting to get into it. And because I had a lot of friends, close relatives, even my mother, who just didn't take care of their health. And just something as simple as, you know, the doctor said, hey, well, get up and just go pick up a weight. And that'll improve your quality of life.
Wow.
And people can't get hung up on, you know, some people say, like, well, it's not going to make me live longer. I said, it's not about living longer. It's about living.
Yeah.
So you want to exist, you want to live. So what you want to do. So that's kind of like how that got me back into, you know, wanted to do the gym. And so then left university, their lease ran out, I was leaving, and we said, then Keith and I started looking at buildings together.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to them, we're walking around looking at the building, and he says, you know, I was looking at this building about 3 years ago, and I went, what? So was I. And so I'd been planning this move. Oh, yeah, saving, putting together, you know, some resources, saving some money, putting it on the side, you know, to get equipment. You know, at that time, I was, as a hobby, I was training people in my driveway at my house, and I had, you know, acquired some equipment there. And so that's kind of how it all came together. It was just like I said, I had no idea he was had seen that building also. And so after that, we got in, and that summer we got the lease finalized, and then I actually moved in earlier because their lease didn't run out till January 2018.
Yes. Yep, I remember.
So we went in and started doing the prep work. You know, I was
cleaning that space up.
Cleaning the space up, pulling carpet. Man, I got so tired of hammers and nails and drills. I have an aversion to a drill right now.
I bet.
You can't hand me a screwdriver or a drill right now. I can't do it. I get the shakes. Like, I've been doing
Not
this
even
too
at the
much.
house.
No, man, I can't do it. So, but it became like a, you know, whole family deal. My wife was supportive, and which was, you know, that was pretty neat because, you know, she started training too, and the neighbors, they came all over so all my driveway folks came over to the building, and then they started telling their friends.
That's cool.
And then, you know, people seeing what we were doing.
That's a good way to transition into business, man.
Yeah.
You started off, I mean, how many businesses started off in the garage at a high, or you know, at the house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where it was in the driveway. And you know, seafood provided some, you know, some wise guidance, you know, along the way, in how to put the, you know, clientele together, how to do some advertising, you know, some realistic targets to shoot for in terms of membership, you know, making sure I understood what my bottom line was, what break-even point was, and, you know, how many can you realistically handle by yourself? Because I'm not trying to be real big. I'm trying to be a situation. I think what kind of differentiates us from other folks is that our classes are smaller. Like 8 to 10 people. So what happens is I get to notice in a classroom setting if you have muscle imbalances. Now, if you go to some places in town where there's 50 people in class, that instructor has no idea that you have a muscle imbalance. Like you may be holding your shoulder a certain way, your feet are turning out because your gluteus medius or your minimus are not firing like they should. So you need to do some corrective exercise. There may be some reason why when you do an overhead press, why this arm kind of wings out. Well, yeah, I did do something to my shoulder. Or what did you do to your shoulder?
Yeah.
What kind of rehab did you do? Well, physical therapy, they just got it moving again. It's like, no, you got to continue.
Yeah.
You got to continue working on it. So I
That's what we've
think
been talking about with my shoulder.
we've been talking about your shoulder.
Yes.
We got to get you in there.
Yes, absolutely.
It's how you live, man. You don't want to exist.
That's right.
So do you have that up on your wall?
What's that?
That
That
quote?
saying?
That would be
Like,
No, I
seriously,
should put it on the
like,
wall. Yeah.
Like,
That's a
that
tagline.
is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say that all the time.
know, right?
I think we should say that every day.
Yeah.
Like,
That is. I mean.
like I could just walk into your place and just see that, like, on the wall.
Yeah. Are you living or existing?
Yeah.
What you want to do?
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a choice.
It is. It
I
truly
mean,
is.
and it's like, my own journey before I really got involved in Kung Fu. See, I played college basketball for 4 years, and so you kind of take it for granted you're going to be in shape because your coach is running, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this.
Right.
And then one day I look up, and I'm like 60 pounds over my playing weight.
Yeah.
And this is before we met,
Right.
and I started the Kung Fu and then back in strength training again also. And doctor asked me, what are you trying to do? You trying to blow up? Because blood pressure was like 145 over 110.
Oh, wow.
So I'm subject to have a stroke. And so I had to make a choice. Pizza and pie,
Yeah.
or
Truth.
green vegetables and fruit
Yeah.
and exercise.
Yeah.
So you had to make a choice. And
It's so true.
and so all I was going to do then was I was just going to exist. I wasn't going to be able to move and do the things I wanted to do. I wanted to do martial arts. I wanted to train. I wanted to, I still wanted to get out in the driveway and play with my sons at that time where they were teenagers. Now I got a 10-year-old daughter. I'm 60 years old with a 10-year-old daughter. I better keep
I
moving.
remember when she was
So,
That's
I got to keep moving. So it's a choice. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, the data shows that you can probably put maybe 1 to 2 years longevity, but that's not the issue. If you get hung up in like,
Wow,
hey, I'm
man.
trying to live long. No, I'm trying to live.
Yeah. That's true. Why do you think, before we get into the business part, like, just the health aspect, because I was thinking about it and just like, I've had family members that would say, well, you're going to die of something anyways, I might as well, it don't even matter.
Might as well enjoy it.
I know, but I'm just
Yeah,
like,
that's what I hear sometimes.
I'm like, oh my gosh, but why do you think it's normal? Like, because many people like it, play college sports and, even the normal person, even if you're not athletic, you were in your 20s, lean, mean, some people, and then you got the American dad, average body, average stomach. Like, why do you think that is normal and accepted in a sense?
Well, I don't know if it's accepted. It seems to become normal. Some people accept it. It's just the way I'm going to be.
Yeah.
But it gets down to is that people don't understand that the difference between a human being and an animal is choice, freedom to choose. So if people understood that basic tenet that, I have the freedom to make a choice to not sit here and crush 9 donuts up into one and shove them in my mouth. That's a true story.
Oh boy.
We had somebody do that in the gym. Said, I only had 1 donut. I see, you only had 1 donut. Yeah, I took 9. I crushed them up.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, he ended up fertilizing the bushes. I should.
Oh.
Yeah, we ran it out of him. Yeah, we ran it out of him. But you have a choice.
You eat 9 donuts at once?
Oh, yeah, he crushed them up.
Crushed them up so to be 1.
So it'd be 1. Well, I only had 1.
Oh, my
And his
goodness.
buddy went,
Oh,
wait a minute. Come on, tell the
His
truth.
accountability partner.
Oh, yeah. But he chose to do that.
Yeah.
You sit there and you choose to do that, but some people say, hey, well, I can't help myself. Yes, you can. You chose to do that.
Yeah.
What a valuable lesson I learned from my uncle. Something happened to me, and I make a good decision, and I'm complaining. He says, "Are you done?" I said, "Yo, what's up? That's your fault. You chose to do that." And so, and this is one of the mantras when I was working with athletes, and when I work with people, it's kind of like your decisions determine your destiny. If you make poor decisions about your health, it's going to determine how you live when you're 60s and 70s. It's going to determine if your back hurts, your knees hurt, if your kidneys go bad, if you have diabetes. If you're sitting up there and you're drinking a gallon of orange juice every day and washing it down with donuts, you're going to have diabetes. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
So it's choice. So, and it's a tough
It's
choice.
all
And I'm not saying it's easy.
Right, right.
I'm not saying it's easy, but, people get into a comfort zone.
Yeah.
And it happens to everything. You see, it may be a comfort zone about their health. It could be a comfort zone about their job.
Yeah.
Like people ask me, how could you leave that job, university?
I was like, all that stuff. Yeah, you around all that.
Yeah, you're around that and the other hoopla, and and I know you're not making any of the money that you were making there. And I'm kind of like, that's not how I'm choosing to live.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. Choose to do something else. A choice. So that's I just to answer your question that roundabout way.
Right, yeah.
I think people don't understand that the human being has freedom to choose. And if you really want to make a change and you choose and you're consistent with your choice and you stay on course and you surround your people who are going to, help you stay on the course, and you'd be surprised we can get things done.